Hello everyone, we are live for the VDRL Tier Friday race around Bahrain for, I think it's round 13 or round 12, I'm not exactly sure, I should have checked that before I started the stream. But yeah, we are here for an interesting round today here in the Middle East. We have a potential, not title decider, but well actually it could decide the title, but we have Toro and Kevin playing catch up to Rajic in the standings, a man who has been consistent all season and has only finished off the podium 4 times compared to the other guys who have been on for several points in the season. And they have 22 and 25 points to make up. That's Tolo and Kevin, respectively. We have a pretty full grid for today's race around Bahrain. And with that, I think we will get into the start of qualifying, and I'll quickly introduce my co-commentator for today, since Jale is not turning up. Mido, say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, it's going to be a different experience for you, trying to do some co-commentary rather than just being the Ted Kravitz of our league. Let's
Indeed.
see. Yeah, it's going to.
I'm not used to that.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
As long as you know your stuff, you'll be absolutely sound. I'm not sure how many people there are in the lobby as we head into this little cutscene section. It's sunset-ish here in Bahrain. I think it's like what the Abu Dhabi races are, where they start in twilight and end in the very late night. The Abu Dhabi is the only track that does that. We have 19 drivers. That's a very full grid. When I first loaded in, there was only 18. Only 18. That's one less. But I think I'm not sure which team we're missing. I think it's a second RB. Yeah, it's a second VCOP car. So Ice Cream at the moment doesn't have a teammate. But yeah, we're heading into qualifying, and we've got obviously a big title battle going on. I know you're quite new to this game, Mardo, but who is your prediction for pole position?
Actually, I have no clue. I hope one of the middle sector, I don't know how to call it, drivers like Damien. I don't know if he's racing today, but I hope he's gonna get pole or something. Like someone who doesn't normally get pole, something exciting, not just Regic or Toro.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. I mean, we have had that times. It's usually when it's raining or usually when it's a track that's a bit more odd or kind of different or unique than a track like Bahrain. We have had Mavers on pole position a couple of times. I'm not sure if you've seen him race. Dylan has just retired from the session. He may be serving a qualifying ban. I think we have seen people like Talha. I think midfield drivers is the name you're looking for rather than like middle. Midfield drivers. Yeah, I mean, people like Remus have got pole positions before from memory. Damian has got a few. He used to, I think it was in a different tier in Aston Martin last season. He was very good from memory. But we have a couple of new drivers as well. So we have a couple of guys that have been turning up in the past couple of weeks, like GPP, Leo Grotta, Roy DeBoy, who was born in 1564. So he was born when Elizabeth I was still kicking around, or Mary I. Clotcho, I've never heard that name before. I recognise the name Guido Ultimo, but I don't know where from. But that's about it. So we're coming in towards, I think, who's going to be the first person to start their lap? It will be Froby, but no one really cares about Froby. So who's the furthest along fast person on there? It's Kevin, I think. Yeah, Kevin's coming around the final couple of corners, and he's just warming up those tyres. Obviously, it's not fully daytime here in Bahrain, but it's in daylight. So tyre temperatures will play a big factor here, because obviously it's the Middle East, and everyone knows that the Middle East is boiling hot. Maybe not at the time of the year that the Bahrain Grand Prix is held, but it will still be very warm. It used to be an absolute nightmare for tyre wear back when the race used to be held in the day from 2004 until 2013. But Kevin, making his way towards turn one, nice and smooth, makes a very jittery and twitchy and unbearable handling model look slightly bearable because of just how smooth he can be. Yellow flags instead of free. That's just drivers slowing down. I think not too much over the curbs. That's something I have found. There used to be a lot of esports lines around here where you'd get all over the curbs on corner entry, but you never really see that on this game. Maybe it's just because it unsettles the car too much as he gets a bit of an oversteer on the exit of turn 8, now towards the descending turn 9, 10, tightening left-hander. Very easy to lock up, and he's managed to navigate that corner successfully. Now coming up to the fast left-hand sweeper, turn 11. Usually takes in 5th gear. He does indeed do that and gets the throttle on the exit. It's very easy to spin with this handler model. Turn 12 is flat and a nothing corner. Into 13, you're all over this curb, make the turn into the corner, nicely done. Hook yourself over that right-hand side curb, but not too much that it pivots you round. And now coming up to the final, technically 2 corners on the circuit, because after the sharp right-hander, it's a little kink right as well. So Froby sets a 1 minute 28.467, Pulse looks around a 29.6. But what's it going to be for Kevin? It's a 27.12, 1.3 seconds clear at the front already. Next up at the top is Talha, who goes 5 tenths slower than him. That's a decent enough attempt from him. Roy DeBoy, who is a rookie in this race, is on an outlap, so we will see what he does next time round. I'm not sure who the next driver will be to cross the line. It might be, it's not Leo Grotta, it'll be Leo Grotta's teammate, Nico-san, coming up towards the checkered flag. P3, not the best of lap times, especially for someone who you expect to be good, like Leo Grotta, as Damian comes into the pit lane after 1 outlap. Javito Killaire, not an impressive one from him. And then the two Mercedes coming up to the line. GPP, last place, that's really not a good lap time from him. And Berti, not much better. That's not a good run from the Mercedes boys. They'll be looking to do better in the coming runs. Pulse, is that Pulse Luxury who's just gone across the line? It wasn't, it was someone else who I couldn't tell. But next, there's a couple of guys. We've got 10 drivers who've currently set a fast lap. We'll wait for the guys like Roy DeBoy to finish off their runs. Yeah, he's obviously a rookie. We haven't seen him before. I haven't seen him before. He might have done like 1 race, but I haven't seen him before. As we come up towards turn 12, on board with him and into 13, purple sector 2 apparently. I mean, I'm not sure how much the game is lying to us, because I know this game does that, but he's now approaching turn 14 and 15. Brakes just before the 50-meter board, turns the car in all over that exit curb. I mean, he's looking decent, to be fair, as he comes up to the line. It's a 1 minute 27.9. That's not too bad. So Rimas, who used to be Kevin's teammate, has been moved to Williams, and I think Kevin wants a teammate who he thinks can do better. How is it looking for you, Myra, after this first kind of set of runs where I've seen most drivers come out on track?
Yeah, I see a lot of drivers, especially the top drivers who aren't rookies, of course, don't make mistakes on the first out lap. So their first lap are much better in seconds compared to the other guys like Guido, who is in last place now with 1:31.8 seconds. Minutes.
Yeah,
it's a lot of difference, 4 seconds.
Yeah,
but
it's a
if you
big
don't
thing.
if you don't make mistakes in your out lap, you can easily make that up. It's a strategic game, though. Really strategic.
Yeah, it's about how. Yeah, it's alright, don't worry. It's how you prepare yourself on the out lap usually. I remember once when I did the league race around Spa against guys who I knew were tons better than me. So on the out lap, instead of trying to warm up my tyres, I just saved my tyres, because you can, like, if you do a bad out lap at Spa, you can often lose yourself like 3 or 4% of tyre wear just on your own. So I didn't mind having my tyres cold because they were on 2% less tyre wear, and I qualified 3rd for that race. So, I mean, obviously Bahrain is not a track like Spa. It isn't 8,000 kilometers long, but yeah, I mean, people like Damian is going on to his lap now. We'll see how a kind of middle of a range driver does that. He takes turn 1 a little bit wider through the because I think everyone else tries to take it a bit tighter to set them up for turns 2 and 3, but that might be just being each to their own kind of thing. Now into 4, again, this is like, if that was F1 23, you'd be all over the inside curbs coming into the corner, but it seems on this game you're not. On this game you want to avoid entry curbs, which is something that I'm not used to seeing. But then at turn 8, for example, he's all over that outside curve, and it does kind of unsettle him going into the apex. As Rajic has left the session, both him and Toto have at points been leaving this session. I'm not sure if they have technical issues, or if they're serving some sort of bans. I don't think they are. Maybe Martin can enlighten me on that if it's just something that I'm not aware of. But we're seeing Damian come in towards Sector 2 now on the fast left-hander. Turn 11 there, through on towards the flat right-hander. 12 does. Ice Cream has just gone up to P2 with the 1 minute 27.495. That's an impressive lap from the V-Carb driver. That's a very, very good showing for him there. You were talking about midfield drivers making surprises. That's a perfect example of that. As Damian, though, comes around the final corner, as I forget how to speak, up to the finish line. He doesn't. He went invalid on the last corner, I think. I didn't see him go invalid, but he must have done so right on the last corner. That's a shame for him. But as you say, I mean, Ice Cream is second, Talha is third. We haven't seen Toto or Rajic do a lap yet, so maybe they will be. Toto has spun at turn 1. I'm not sure if there's issues with his wheel or something, but he's not currently in a place where he can challenge. I'm not sure if there's something wrong with his car, wrong with his setup, wrong with his something or other. I will quickly check if Martin has enlightened me. Problems for them, no ban. So they haven't got any bans, they haven't got anything that's causing them to have these issues. They are indeed having these issues. That's worrying. For 2 championship contenders, this could mean Kevin. This could blow the race wide open for Kevin, who has a... Oh my god, my voice has just decided it's going to end itself. Kevin, obviously, he can get 25 points for the race win. He can get 3 points for pole position, which he's currently on course to get. That would put him, if he was to get that, it would be right up there with Rajic going into the final race, which I think is in Portugal. Rajic has rejoined. So I'm not sure if they're doing... I'm not sure if they're trolling us, if they're going to do one run right at the end, or if there's genuinely issues going on for them. But if, of all the times to have it, here is not... the second to last race of the season is not where you want to be having technical difficulties, as they like to say. Kevin has gone fastest again because Talha has improved to second place. Kevin's gone fastest again on a 1:26.897, so basically a 1:26.9. The first driver into the 26s. That's a very impressive time from the Flying Dutchman. But Nico's is also on a flyer, about a second up at the moment. But can the Alpine driver, who has been all the way up there throughout the season? No, he can't. That's a spin for Nico-san. He needs to make sure he luckily didn't hit a wall. He managed to back out of that position. Roy De Boy, I've just realised he's gone 5th. That's an impressive run from him. We must have been to 6th. Toro's managed to get onto a lap that's purple in the first sector, but will he be able to complete this run? In the first 11 minutes of the session, he hasn't managed to set a single lap, despite going out on track multiple times and leaving the session at points as well. But can the Red Bull man do something? As I think someone just crossed the line. I think it may have been Pulse Luxury going up to P7 there to make it a Williams 6-7. As we now see yellow flags in sector 1. There's someone going slowly at turn 1, but I think that's just someone going back onto a circuit. That's fine. As Tommy goes purple in the second sector as well, apparently. We could see an adventurous challenger for pole position here. As him and Rajic is now on his outlap as well. Let's hope they don't have technical difficulties for the remainder of this session, just for the title battle. I mean, you want, as Kevin, you'd want them to have problems so that then you can do well on the run up to the race. But Toto has gone fastest. That's a 1:26.786. Pole by a 10th at the moment. But there's easy chance for Rajic, who has been very good in qualifying, to come back. Even though Rajic only has 1 pole position all year, that was at the Dutch Grand Prix. Ironically, one of everyone else, pretty much everyone else's home track, he gets pole position. But this could be a very tasty end towards the qualifying, although we could see some storylines begin to unfold as the 2 Williams, I think, aren't on flying laps. But yeah, how is it looking for you? Mardo, do you think this is now going to be, the 2 Red Bulls are now going to assert their dominance?
Yeah, I actually think so. Toro made it look so easy to get pole position. Out of nowhere he comes. He was chilling all the time, all Q1 in the pit lane, just waiting, and then one lap, boom, pole position. And while the other drivers do a lot of laps and don't get pole position, Toro got skill in him. You can see it so hard now. He's gonna dominate the race, I think.
I mean, dominating the race from a 1/10 gap in qualifying is a bit... I mean, it could happen. I've seen it happen before. But, yeah, Rajic's now on a lap. And more importantly, he's got slipstream from Toto. Toto's giving him a bit of slipstream. That is such an important thing on this game. Like, it's almost as bad as F1 2016 or all of the other games that I know were very potent for slipstreaming. Where you can gain, like... I remember because I watched Johanna Opmeer's races at the start of the game cycle. It was so bad that leagues like PSGO were genuinely putting ghosting on during qualifying because that negated the effects of slipstream. But Rajic is coming round the final corner. Will that have propelled him to put it on the pole position? No, he comes into the pits. He's not happy with that lap. What is happening to our championship leader?
He needs to do one lap, minimum one lap, to get a good grip position. Because now he's last place.
I have a feeling I know what he's doing. I think he's so far in front of the championship he wants to do a last to first challenge.
Oh yeah, make a video about it or something maybe.
Yeah, I mean, last to first... I mean, if there's anyone who's going to do it, it's going to be Rajic, because unlike Toto and Kevin, he's very smooth and he can make his way through packs quite quickly, but to do this in a not a season finale, but the penultimate round of the season, is very brave. I'll give him that, because going into Portugal, if he has a bad race in Portugal, I'm not sure if I remember him in the interview saying that Portugal was a good track for him, but if he has a bad race in Portugal, he will undoubtedly regret trying to do something crafty in a race like this.
Because now it's not difficult for the two Red Bulls to work together. Because like the Williams and the Kicks, they are after each other, so they can work together, give each other slipstream, etc. But now, first pole position and last place, you know, you can't work together like that.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it has happened before. Drivers have got pole position while their teammate has got last place. I think the most recent time it happened was Brazil 2022 when Magnussen got pole for Haas and Schumacher was last. I'm sure there will be some historic examples where I can't think of it, but John Watson was known for coming back through the pack. He was a driver who people don't really understand how good he was. He'd never got a championship, but he got a handful of race wins, and he got, I think, his best win was when he started in 23rd and finished first, and then he got another win, which was starting 22nd and finishing first. He was he was known for qualifying like P17 and then winning, and especially at street circuits. I think his wins were at like Detroit and Long Beach, which are very difficult tracks to overtake, obviously. But yeah, it's mostly all the midfielders, all the back markers on their laps at the moment, but we have some guys on outlaps, Toro, Kevin and co. Rajic has not gone out again, so Rajic is not... Oh, actually, no, he is. He's just come out of the pit lane. That's going to be tied for time. If he can't manage the traffic well, because everyone else in front of him is really close to him, and they've got gaps in front of him, if they can't manage the traffic, that could become a problem for Rajic. That could become easily a disastrous moment, as Yellow Flags said too, because one of the Aston Martins has spun around at turn 12. I don't know how you can do that, but he has. Oh no, he's just backing off to let everyone else catch up. Remus has just started his lap as he comes around, and so is Roy De Boy. So I think it's more important to see what Roy De Boy is doing than Remus, because he is the teammate. As he's gone invalid actually, so no improvement for Roy De Boy. Unless he can, how much time have we got left in the session? Can he come round and do another lap? No, he can't. Only 54 seconds. So he'd have to cut 8 corners just to get around to the lap. As Remus has gone slightly faster in the first sector, but I don't think he's going to be able to really do much to challenge the leading guys. So when they start their laps, I think we'll go on board with them, as Kevin has got Ice Cream right behind him. That could be an interesting dynamic. Ice Cream could definitely cause some problems for Kevin, because that slipstream will be so powerful down this back straight as Kevin comes into turn 1 now. Brakes on the curb, slight lockup into the apex. Nicely done from the Ferrari driver all over that exit curve just to try and make that run a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker up the hill there's not really a hill there, but I'm going to roll with that. As Leo Grotto has retired from the session. Kevin coming towards the end of Sector 2 now. 22 thousandths of a second up. Just keep improving, little improvements like that, and he might get this. Checkered flag is out. I'm not sure who's just about to finish that lap. There's a driver coming around the final corner. It is Remus, I think, and he has improved to 5th place. Remus has improved to 5th place, so that's a good lap from him to move up the position. And now, coming up towards the DRS straight here, Kevin, can he... What is he going to do coming up towards the second sector split, which is in just a corner's time? Down in towards turn 11. Nicely back on the throttle. And now coming round through turn 12. Across the checker mark. It's 97 thousandths up. If he just gets a little bit in this final sector, it will be enough for Kevin to take pole position. But he's got to worry about Ice Cream behind him, who's been tagging along in his slipstream this entire time. A Red Bull has spun in the middle sector. It's Toto who's spun, so it's not going to be Radzik who's affected by that. But will Kevin go to the top of the timesheets? No, he doesn't. Ice Cream goes third because he stood in his slipstream. Toto is currently on provisional pole position, but his teammate Radzik is fighting against that. He hasn't got a lap on the board at the moment, but can he usurp his teammate, the championship leader? Can he secure pole position in Bahrain? He needs at least a good starting position. No, he doesn't. It's P6. P6 for Radzik. And now coming up towards the final corner, the likes of Talha still need to cross the line. They're outside shots of pole position. He's 3/10 off at the moment, but I think he's not going to get there. He's on the grass and he's not setting a serious lap. That's unfortunate for him. As the other guys start crawling across the line, Toto has managed to hang on despite that mistake on his final lap. Kevin takes second after improving slightly on his final run, and Ice Cream with his clever strategy sitting in the slipstream of Kevin. I told you that slipstream was powerful. P3 for the AlphaTauri man, and our championship leader Radzik gets no points then from qualifying, half a second behind his teammate. It's better than nothing. It's better than where he was for 90% of that session in last place. But it's still bad. 6th place for Radzik. So that now means, if we look at the championship standings heading into the race, that means that Toto is now 19 points behind Radzik, and Kevin is now 23 points behind. So it's all on, and it's all ready there to play for ahead of a race. What did you think of that, Mardo?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm surprised Radzik came in P6 actually, with 2 out laps. That's not a lot of laps to improve yourself. I think for sure he practiced a lot before this race. Because two out laps to get P6, such a good position. It's not the greatest, for sure not. He could have done better, but for 2 laps, I think it's good.
Yeah. Still, considering, I mean, Radzik hasn't been always the fastest driver in qualifying for him, but to be P6 is usually shocking. He's usually always up in the top 3, the top 4 if one of the other guys has a particularly good track. But the lights are beaming down here in Bahrain. We are ready for the race. We will, obviously, the guys are doing their setups. We will see, hopefully within a couple of, not seconds time, but in about half a minute's time, we will get to the start of this race, the penultimate round of the VDRL season. It's all to play for the guys at the front. They need to work together, I'd say, Toto and Kevin, even though they're on different teams, and even though they are fighting for their own championships. If they pull away from the pack behind and Radzik doesn't get through and carve his way through the pack, it could cause problems for the Spaniard who currently leads the standings. As we do sit and look at the pit lane, I'm not sure what strategies people are going on. I'm not sure what is going to happen in terms of safety cars, whether we're going to have a lap 1 safety car which will save Radzik's poor qualifying, or something else that will cause a problem or make some excitement in this race. Bahrain is a good track. We've known it for that. It's one of the best circuits in this region of the world. I always like to criticise the likes of Abu Dhabi, the likes of Jeddah for being boring. But this one does like to prove its entertainment. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. here in Bahrain, and we are go. Very quick jump from the lights as we move away from the start-finish line. And now Toto does move into the lead and keeps that lead in towards the first corner as there's Kevin challenging behind. Talha has overtaken Rajic, who's now up into P4. Rajic has moved up into P4 only off the start. That's a great move from the Spaniard there as he now makes his move. Looks on the inside, coming up towards turn 4. He makes that move up the inside, and he's got the position on Talha, who's trying to force it back around the outside, but it's not enough. Rajic's already up into P3. Yellow flags in centre 1. There's a spinner at the back. It's Guido. Guido has spun as the rest of the field filter through and towards the second sector now. Now you see Toto is leading the pack and his teammate is up into P3. Not good news for his title aspirations because the Constructors' title has already been confirmed. Now, let's have a look. I was talking about tyres. It's a mixed bag. So Toto is on the softs, Kevin on the mediums. That's why he's dropping back so far. Rajic went on the softs to get that better start and try and get in front of the guys who are around him, who are on the mediums, some even on the hard tyres. So it's a mixed bag in terms of strategy as to who's picking what and who's doing what and where. This is going to be an interesting race, I can tell you that. I think it's going to be a VDRL classic if Rajic and Kevin start fighting each other, because now, coming up towards the end of lap 1, Kevin's already starting to fall out of the DRS of Toto on those worst tyres. Those mediums will not be as good as the softs that Toto has on this car. Rajic wheel to wheel with Kevin going up towards turn 1, and he's got ahead. Will he be able to keep that advantage through the corner? It seems that will be the case. So Rajic's up into second in less than 2 laps, in basically 1 and a bit laps. He's made his way up to second position from 6th on the grid. This is already looking like a fantastic result for Rajic. If he can just stay where he is, he's pretty much guaranteed the championship going into the final round in Portugal. He could win it with 1 round to go, realistically, if he can now somehow make his way past Toto. But Toto's been looking quick all weekend. Rajic has not got the pace, I don't think, over 1 lap to beat him, but if he's got a better setup that's better for tyre wear or something like that, I believe that we could see some interesting transpirations through this race, as DRS will be enabled down this straight. Could help Kevin keep with Rajic. But how was that start from your perspective, Myro?
Yeah, I was looking from behind and I saw a couple of cars crashing in each other, which is very unfortunate for Guido, who lost 2 places from his grid position.
Yeah, Guido, one of the rookies, I think I've recognised him from somewhere, but I don't think it was in this league. As there are guys fighting over that wooden spoon for 17th and 18th place. Great hard scrapping there. Dylan also getting involved, the man who started from the back without setting a lap in qualifying, as Toro does set fastest lap of the race. But yeah, it's looking like people are starting to spread out a little bit now, which is a bit of a shame. Bahrain isn't usually renowned for that, as I think Dylan's coming into the pits to repair some damage. No, he's not. He's just pulling to the inside to try and overtake GPP. Both of the Haas cars are making moves down the inside of turn 1 as Cloccio has moved past Froby, but now Froby gets him back on the exit. There's also Damian who's moved past Nico Son into P5. That's a good move from him, as Roy De Boy is trying to get involved. The driver who is the second Ferrari man. Remus obviously had that poor outing last weekend in Hungary and has now he's been replaced by Roy De Boy for 1 race. I'm not sure if it's going to be a regular thing for the last 2 races of the season, but Kevin has said before that he wants a teammate who can help him. I think he had that in Suzuka because Remus did a fantastic job to keep with the leading guys, but he's kind of on his own in this title fight, as he has now tucked into the slipstream and the DRS, more importantly, of Rajic. That is so useful for him because he's on those worst tyres. He does not need to worry about being first on the worst set of tyres. He needs to worry about keeping in these guys' DRS and just keeping the momentum on his side, because if he can gain basically 3 lap time by sitting in their DRS, that's at least 3 or 4 tenths per lap on a track like this. That can almost offset the difference even between the softs and the mediums. But Talha gets a fantastic run off a final corner. He's on the medium tyres as well, so this is an equal playing field for Talha and Kevin. He's not faster on the straight, but if Kevin makes 1 mistake, I have a feeling that he's going to be able to capitalise on the challenge from behind us. Roy De Boy overtakes Damian, and I think he's trying to go around the outside of Nico Son there. What a fantastic double move from the Ferrari, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep the position. He does keep the position, actually, coming down towards turn 4. P5 for Roy Dubois. As he now turns in towards turn 4, he's got guys behind him swarming, and he almost gets a 3-second time penalty. Now, you see, this is the problem. I haven't seen, I don't know why the guys, actually, no, I do see why. Because Roy Dubois is on the mediums. I'm surprised he hasn't gone on the hards, because if I was someone like Kevin, I'd get a teammate who's kind of decent, who's up there, but could very easily go long on a strategy and wait for everyone else to pit and just sit in front of them and hold them up. Because that's kind of what Kevin needs at the moment. If he can get, I don't know, Roy Dubois to stay out a lap more than everyone else and then just hold them up. As Javi Tukiler has retired from a session. That's contact with the outside wall, I think, in turn 10. I'm not sure exactly what's happened there, but he's gone off at turn 10. Oh, he's retired on the pit straight. I'm not sure why he's done that. But he's retired on the pit straight instead of doing so in the pits. Let's hope that's not a safety car. But he's retired on track there. That's a very silly decision to make, especially when the repercussions of that could have been massive. But now Mikkelsen is right on the back of Roy Dubois as we enter lap 5 here in Bahrain. Rajic is now into DRS of Toro. That's a very important moment there because he was out of it for the most part of the session. But now Mikkelsen attacking Roy Dubois, and so is Damian. They're making contact as Mikkelsen basically turns in on him, very squeezing him there, and he's done it on the exit as well. But Roy Dubois does not give up. He does not want to give up this position at all as we come down towards turn 4. But it's free wide because Damian has swerved across the both of them to try and take the position. This is fantastic racing for the 5th place position. And now Roy Dubois continues in that position, but now Damian of the inside has now reassumed that place from Roy Dubois there. That's a fantastic move from a lot of them to just not crash into each other more than anything. But now, Rajic has caught right up to the back of Toro. This has been a great drive from him already to just get up into P2 by basically the end of the first lap. Now, he's catching up to his teammate. He's on a generational drive at the moment, but he can now push on. He's got the slipstream. He's literally right behind his teammate. But if these two make contact, it leaves a wide open goal basically for Kevin behind. Wow, so lap 5 here in Bahrain. Don't go anywhere because we're going to keep seeing more battling. Who do you think is going to come out on top, Mario?
Wow, that's a good question. The Red Bulls are looking to be the fastest, but they're also on softs. So maybe their strategy is not the best, and maybe they're gonna do a 2-stop while the other's gonna do a 1-stop, and it could change everything, of course. But I said earlier I wanted to see a midfield driver like Ice Cream winning, but he's lost a couple of positions in the first lap. It may be because he's on a hard, so maybe he's gonna catch up if he's gonna go on the mediums or soft after the pits.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ice Cream started 3rd, he's now 8th, so he's lost 5 positions, the most out of anyone, apart from Javi Tukiler, who retired. But I have a feeling that he could definitely, on those hard tyres, those are the worst tyres at the moment. It's a very odd strategy because all the top guys have gone on softs or mediums, so it's clear that they're going to either do a 2-stop or they're going to go soft mediums, which is actually a good strategy in this game. But if tyre wear, if it's a bit touch and go for tyre wear, hards could be a good opportunity, especially if there is a late safety car around about lap 17, 18 that could play right into the hands of Ice Cream. But a safety car, for example, now would screw him over because you need to go onto the hard tyres realistically, unless you go like medium or medium soft to the end. But yeah, Rajic now in the lead. He made that move on Toro on the last time we went down this main straight. But can he make that move again? Or can Toro return the favour, essentially? Just do a bit of leapfrog with his teammate? I think that could be the case. They're both using hot lap ERS. I'm not sure why Toro is doing that when you can easily get by before the corner without. And you could just save some ERS. And he's got the move done nicely. The Red Bull duo switching places. He's struggling with that rear endo. Toro, he's clearly running a slightly more aggressive setup. Vernon Rajic, which is not good in race trim. I can tell you that for sure. If you want a smooth, nice setup, it's always better to have that in the race than it is in qualifying. But obviously, the park firmware restrictions in this game make it difficult. As now Nico Sun nearly sent to move up the inside of Ice Cream. But yet, there's a lot of battles going on up and down the field that are materialising. It's not like it was last week in Hungary where I was falling asleep because no one could make an overtake. People are making overtakes. They're just a bit too many now because the DRS is too powerful rather than not powerful enough. This is the eternal problem you have with DRS. It's often very hard to determine how powerful it should or shouldn't be. Rajic now coasting in right behind Toto. He's playing the long game here. His teammate has 29% ERS. He has 100%. Like, he actually needs to burn some. He's now gone on to medium. But he's now right behind his teammate with a lot more ERS. I assume he's got better tyres because he's a lot less aggressive with his inputs. And Kevin is still right with him on those medium tyres. Those medium tyres will start to become the better ones as we enter the next couple of laps, maybe about lap 9, lap 10, those mediums will start to become the better tyres, and then he could start to cause some problems for the guys in front of him. As now Rajic easily passed his teammate with the hot lap ERS enabled, and Toto is basically a sitting duck at the end of that straight. If Kevin had a bit more ERS, he could have even tried to get by there. That could have been an entertaining prospect, but now as we come down towards turn 1, is now Roy DeBoy trying to move on Ice Cream, who's now, as you said, he moved down to 8th position. He's now back up to 5th position as Roy DeBoy makes his way past Damian. But Ice Cream could very easily make his way back into this race on those hard tyres, which are looking to at least be good enough to beat those guys in the midfield. He's got a 5.6 second gap to Talha, who's in no man's land. He's got no one in front. He's got a really big gap in front of him compared to everyone else. He's got a really big gap behind him compared to everyone else. He's coming to the pits now. Guido, I'm not sure if that's a scheduled stop or if that's because he's got damage of some sort, but we see him. He's coming to the pits and he's come out of them on medium tyres in place. Not good for him on his debut, I think. I think it's his debut. But now on lap 8, we have about 2/3 of a race still remaining. We have definitely not 2/3 of the action still remaining. There's definitely a lot more still to come from this race. It's all going to be on strategy, it's all going to be on tyres. Rajic, who came up from 6th position in that starting spot, now leading the way. I mean, he couldn't get much better for him. I know he's got his teammate right behind him, and Kevin also snipping at his heels. Toto can't really convincingly get by him, though, which is going to cause him issues, because now Kevin is ranging up on the back of both of them as Talha's coming to the pits. Talha on the mediums, only goes 9 laps. So he can't go as long as the soft guys. He's going on to another set of mediums, so it's a medium, soft strategy for him then. Roy DeBoy making his way into 4th for Ferrari, but that switchback is going to work for Ice Cream, I think. It doesn't. He gets forced out by the Ferrari driver and just doesn't get the traction he needs to be able to make that move. Now, where is he going to go? To the inside, to the outside, gets forced to the outside. Is he going to try and get the switchback this time, and is it going to work this time? Use your ERS, you're up to medium, that's not enough. You'd have to use a hot lap to be able to keep alongside here. He's trying to keep it alongside. There's contact. Luckily, no spin or anything there. That could have been catastrophic quickly. But now Nikoson's trying to capitalise on Damian going slowly, being held up by Ice Cream, but he's not been able to do it just yet. He's got 100% ERS. You should use some of it, mate. Use some of it and go on to hot lap. But he's going to be inside of turn 9 and 10. Oh, that's a really tight corner to try and make a move. But again, can't make the move. I don't know why he's not using his ERS, at least some of it, to just get him off of 100%. But yeah, it's really close. Everywhere you look at Ice Cream up the inside of Roy DeBoy, a bit more contact between the two drivers. No love lost between those two. But this could get very fun very quickly, Mido.
Yeah, indeed. I saw the most of the drivers just gone into the pits. Now there's only 2 drivers with the softs left, the top 2. And
yep, and
if there happens to be now a safety car, Kevin easily can overtake him, but this Kevin and Toro just gone into the pits and changed to hard. Now only 1 soft car left.
Yep, Rajic is that one soft car. That one thing that he will not like is the fact that his teammate will now have, his teammate Toro will now have a slipstreaming partner, a guy to make his way through the field with, and that could potentially gain him a lot of time. As everyone else behind is basically fighting over position, the likes of Nikos, the likes of Roy DeBoy, the likes of Damian, the likes of Ice Cream, they are all fighting over these positions. They're now fighting for second, but when they eventually come in whether 5-10 laps time, they will be fighting over essentially 5th, 6th, 7th position because of Kevin and Toro. But now, I think Nikoson's had a collision with Roy DeBoy there because he's lost a lot of time. I'm not sure if he's lost any of his front wing. He has. He's lost his right side end plate, so he will probably be coming into the pits at the end of his life. That's so unfortunate for Nikoson. he was right in that little gap for that position. But now Toto and Kevin, they are in DRS of each other. They could easily work together to now get up and past Rajic. I mean, Talha is also on them, so Talha has made a fantastic undercut there. Talha's right on the back of them as well, on those warmer tyres. He could now stay in their DRS. That's going to be so interesting to see how that storyline develops, because Rajic is still luckily pulling away from the rest of the pit pack, but he's not anymore because he's into the pit lane. Rajic into the pits onto a set of hard tyres. So soft, hard strategy for everyone now. If you told me that was a strategy they'd used in last year's game, I'd say that was a stupid idea. But the strategy on this year's game is so different and so easily able to be worked around as Froby goes up into P4. But more importantly, where is Toto and Kevin going to come out? Kevin's just overtaken Toto, but they're both going to come out ahead, I think, of Rajic here, because although Toto is behind right now, Rajic is on those cold tyres, but he's got the bad exit off of turn 2 and 3 there. Rajic is now back into the race and behind Kevin, but ahead of his teammate on 1 lap younger tyres. I'm not sure if that will make a difference come the end of the race, but this is going to be a good storyline to follow, because now Talha is in this battle for the lead as well. So it's a four-way scrap for this leaders. Now he's going to be inside. I don't know why he went to be inside of Toto there. That was a very useless move. But several dramas with time penalties, I've just realised. Froby has 3 seconds. Remus has 3 seconds as well. Clutcho and Bertie also they have 3 and 6 seconds as well. But now Ice Cream and Damian have made a switch for the lead, and now into turn 12, Damian gets that lead back. So the drivers on the alternative strategy fighting over these lead positions, and now Damian fighting with Ice Cream. They are working kind of with each other. They've got DRS on each other, but it's not exactly like they're properly getting each other's way just yet. As we enter lap 12 then, into the pits comes Roy De Boy. Roy De Boy into the pits. I assume this will be onto a set of hards, either that or a set of mediums up to softs at the end. Ice Cream up into the lead now. They are switching positions again. So we've had several lead changes in this race. It's much better than what we had last round in Hungary, but yeah. Mardo, what lap do you think the alternate strategy guys are going to pit on?
Yeah, I think they need to pit like in following laps, maybe like lap 17, 18, maybe 20, because they need to change for sure. The tire wear is gonna feel really hard. They're gonna get really big understeer or oversteer, who knows? And maybe they're gonna crash out if they stay out on track too long. So they need to pit eventually, and better fast than never, you know?
Yep, I will just say, Toto has just been overtaken by Talha into turn 8. That's a shame for him, because now he is 3 positions behind his teammate. There's no damage for him there. I thought it was quite, it seemed to be quite an aggressive overtake from Talha. But now Rajic is ranging up on the back of Remus, who's on older tyres. If he can get in the DRS of Remus, that could definitely save him from being attacked by another lap. He knows that. He's deploying that overtake button. Now coming in towards the final corner on the circuit. Remus hasn't got the DRS. Rajic does. And Remus is all over the shop off the exit of that corner. He's looking to be struggling. Yeah, he's not even challenging it. 170 miles an hour down the straight. He's like a McLaren Honda in 2017. He's just letting the leaders streak by. He doesn't want to be involved in any of this. Now he moves alongside Talha. And then he's got Toto who's going around his outside. Another step back from Toto. He's had to go around him rather than just getting past him on the straight. Now the leaders up into the top 5 positions, or Rajic definitely up into the top 5 positions. He's got to catch up to Froby now, but it's looking good for him. It's looking good for the guys who are following him behind him. Nico so making his way back up through the pack. He has replaced that front wing after his little collision with whoever that was at the end of, I can't remember which lap it was now, but it was at turn 10, I remember. He's just got by Clutcho. Let's hope he can at least recover some part of his race. As now Ice Cream and Damian stood up out in front. If I was Damian, he's actually doing something quite sensible, because although his tyres are clearly going off because everyone else has pitted after him, and now there's no other guys apart from GPP who are on mediums from the start of the race. he's still staying in that DRS. So actually, he's gaining time from that DRS. And because the tyre differential is bad, but because he's staying within 1 second of ice cream on the hards, it's actually not that bad because he can gain a couple of attempts per lap because he stayed in that DRS. Whether he's going to come in like at the end of his lap, for example, we don't know. But ice cream is coming in at the end of his. No, he's not. He's decided to go to the pit lane commit line and then duck straight out of it again. That is. I'm not sure if there's anything in the rulebook that says you can't do that. If you commit, you can't uncommit. I know you can't uncommit and then commit, but I don't know if there's anything in the rulebook that says you can't do that. But it was obvious that ice cream was never going to go into the pits on lap 13 in hards, because if he only does 13 laps on hards, what does that medium soft tyre strategies? It'll be making it even worse for him. But he's coming forward towards the second sector, and now Rajic has caught right up to the back of Pulse Luxury, because Froby's overtaking Pulse Luxury, and now this could be a problem because he's not going to have DRS for another half a sector or a bit like a half a sector. This could be a big problem for Rajic, although he hasn't caught up in the way you'd expect. So maybe he's just hanging back, saving some ERS and trying to find a perfect position to overtake one of these guys, because obviously Pulse Luxury and Froby on those old hard tyres. He needs to play the long game here and has a DRS, but he's nowhere near making a lunge in towards this part of the circuit. You might just wait for these two to try and fight each other and then sweep around the outside of both of them, because they aren't going to be as lenient as Remus is. Obviously, Kevin's ex-teammate might have wanted him in that situation to be there, but he's got Roy DeBoy instead, who isn't really doing much at all. But yeah, now Rajic is right on the back of Pulse Luxury. I'm expecting at least one move on this straight. He's saved up his ERS, unlike the two guys in front of him, and I expected to punch it out of this corner. He does, and he's now going to pull to the inside of Pulse Luxury. A bit of a weave there from Pulse Luxury, but it's fine. And now he's going past Froby as well. Very good move, very calculated, and now Pulse Luxury is trying to make his move on Froby. This is going to hold up the guys behind, as now Toto's just made contact with the back of Kevin. I'm not sure if he's got damage, but he's just made contact with the back of Kevin, and that's putting right off the back. He's a second behind these guys now. Just as I was saying, Rajic was making his way through the pack nicely. The guys behind, they bottleneck up too quickly, and they don't know how to handle slower traffic. Toto is now out of that second gap. He needs to get back in that to get back in the DRS of Talha. If Talha tries to overtake Kevin, that could make it easier. But now Kevin on the inside of Pulse Luxury. He's had enough of staying behind that car. Very argy-bargy overtake, but it's not enough. Stays behind the Williams, and now Talha overtaking him. It's eat or be eaten at this point of the race, and that has allowed Toto to get back in the DRS. Talha now overtaking Kevin, a guy who is not fighting for the title, is most certainly ruining these guys' chances at making an advance on Rajic, who I think in this current position would win the championship outright because of the points deficit to the guys around him. Now coming round the final couple of corners, Talha around the outside of Pulse Luxury, gets the move done, but he's got a massive snap of oversteer on the exit. That can allow Pulse Luxury to pull alongside, and it does. He's not giving up his position, but now Kevin down the inside, he's got the ERS, but now, oh my goodness me, Pulse Luxury just turned straight into Kevin and nearly spun him out. What a stupid move, and Talha is into the pits. Oh, I don't know why he's coming to the pits. He might have got damage from some of that contact, but the guy who was previously fighting with those leading guys, he is not pitting for damage, he's pitting for hard tyres. That is such an insane strategy call. Why has he done that? Pulse Luxury also into the pit lane for some mediums, but that was some haphazard defending from Pulse Luxury there. You're fighting over positions you're going to lose anyway, and you ruin someone else's race, or you nearly ruined someone else's race. Kevin is still luckily in the DRS of Toto, but so nearly ruining other drivers' races because you can't bear to be overtaken. And now, lap 16 we are on. Ice Cream's still leading, Damian's still second. Mido, I know you're the strategy wizard. When are these guys going to, do you think? Because you said around lap 15, around lap 20. But do you think we're ready to see a pit stop within like 1 or 2 laps?
It didn't happen yet. I think they need to, especially Damian, because he's gonna do one pit stop if he's not pitted yet, because it's over half of the race left. It's almost on the race. If he's gonna stay on mediums, his car is gonna feel horrible to drive, and he's probably gonna crash out. And it looks like he's now out of the DRS zone of Ice Cream, so I think He's gonna pit it. Pit, yes. He's
Yeah, he
gonna
did.
pit now.
Let's see. I shouldn't go soft. Soft won't make it to the end, so I think he's going to go an awkward. Yeah, he's going to go an awkward hard strategy where he does more laps on the mediums than he does on the hard. So that will give him a bit of leeway towards the end of the race. I'm still not sure why Talha pitted there. If Damien eventually ends up on the podium, which is a very rare possibility, but if he does, we can easily ask him about that. But the Ice Cream's still leading, obviously, on those hard tyres, which will do more than the mediums, obviously. But now, Rajic is in DRS range. Although, unlike in the previous parts of his race, he does not have more ERS than the guy in front of him. Ice Cream has been saving up that battery. He has 75% compared to Rajic's 50%. So, it's quite a bit more. He keeps making mistakes and he keeps going a bit deep. So I think those tyres are going off. But this is not his fight. If I was him, I would not let him by. But if Rajic goes for a move, I'd just let him make the pass and then try and stay with him through the sector. I mean, losing a second in a sector would be quite extreme, even with a 10-lap tyre deficit, because they are the same tyres. But now, Rajic knows that if he goes past on this straight, then Ice Cream will have a DRS on the next straight. So he's being sensible, just sitting behind, waiting for the easy pass on the main straight. Now, Kevin passed Froby. P4 for him now, but he's still got a second. He's actually, luckily, still got DRS on Toto, which should help him fend from Froby. But now Rajic has made the move on Ice Cream. Sensible position to make that work. And now Ice Cream will try and stay with him. I don't think it will happen though, because he is already half a second down. He'll have the DRS to kind of keep with him on the straight. But whether he'll be able to maintain that gap through this tight, twisty section. Pulse Luxury sets the fastest lap of the race. I mean, he's got the pace, but he does not have the racecraft to match that. Because, oh my god, he's at the inside of Ozan Isaac. He's just missed his braking zone and gone straight into the back of Damian. And now Ozan's going straight to the side of him. Whoa, this guy. He's got some balls on him, I'll tell him that. But not some balls that are clever, clearly. Yep. So, some interesting driving tactics from Pulse Luxury here. Clearly driving like a man who has nothing to lose. I don't mean someone who's just lost all their money gambling and putting it all on red, but and now Clocho is losing the position to Damian. I think Clocho has some sort of, he doesn't have some sort of wing damage. I thought I could see an end plate missing, but he doesn't. Damian, if I was being sensible, he's got Pulse Luxury on his inside again. Pulse Luxury is sending ridiculous dive bombs on everyone. If I was one of these drivers, I'd just throw the bucket at him and just put him in a wall. Because this is ridiculous. I mean, he's got that's a fair show. No, it isn't, because he just forced him straight to the outside of the circuit and barged him out of the way. If I was Damian, I'd get past Clocho because Clocho is a bit useless and try and get around Pulse Luxury and just try and put him in a wall, because Damian's a well-respected guy who could get away with doing that. Now, Damian on the inside of Clocho. Clocho not going to defend that. Oh, he is going to defend it, obviously, but he's not going to be able to successfully defend it. There we go. That's how you force someone to be out respectfully and fairly. Now, with DRS, I wonder what Pulse Luxury is going to do. Because it's going to be close coming up towards the start-finish straight. Remus set his fastest lap, so he takes it away from the dangerous driver. Look at that, you can't weave like barges up the inside. Damian, very fairly. And then on the exit can't get the move done. Come on, get past him this time. He is moving about very erratically. Oh, good one. Yeah, good one, Damian. Perfect. Move across on him like he moved across on you, and now Pulse Luxury's lost 2 positions. That's a really classy move. That's not me being sarcastic. If he gets penalised for that, considering what Pulse Luxury's been doing, then I don't have any faith in the stewarding system. As now he goes at the inside of a Haas and loses the back end because he's trying to make moves that aren't going to work, and now gets overtaken by Talha. Ooh, Talha, to be fair, has just gone straight into the back of Clocho, but hasn't died. Why is Paul? He's trying to side draft. For those who know what side drafting is, basically in NASCAR, which is stock cars, obviously a much different style of racing. You essentially try and like rub someone's what we'd call side pods in F1, but like their door, and when they're trying to go past you, so it ruins the momentum and they don't eventually end up going by. So essentially, it's like yeah, I can't really explain it in F1 terms because there isn't a similar thing. But it's essentially you don't push someone into a wall, but you just rub someone's door or rub the side of their car with your car, stop them from getting by. Ice Cream and Phobia into the pit, so Ice Cream finally making a stop for soft tyres. As you see, this middle pack kind of battling over these middle positions. Pulse Luxury now trying to move around the outside of Clotcho. Let's see what he can do. He's actually leaving room for... Oh, no, he isn't leaving room. I thought he was leaving room. No, he isn't. What a surprise. Talha to the inside. Pulse Luxury trying to go through on the outside. I have a feeling this is going to end in tears. It does, because Pulse Luxury was trying to go for a gap that wasn't there, and Talha closed it off, and he just didn't go. There's a safety car. So that's going to completely mess up the strategy. Anyone who's on hards needs to pit for softs now.
Yeah, for sure.
Benefit Ice Cream. Yep. Myra, what do you think? Sorry, I didn't let you speak for a few laps because I was busy ranting about Pulse Luxury, but...
Ice Cream made a good call to pit very just for the safety car, because now he's in P5. Beforehand he was in P8, so he made three places, because why not?
Yeah. The front guys have to come into the pits though, even if they think that those hard skills again, they'll be swallowed up by guys on softs, and they are coming in. This will not benefit Red Bull actually, because although Toro has tried to make a gap to Rajic, he's going to get held up, and that will allow Kevin to make up second place here. Roy DeBoy could also play a factor in this, as Kevin's gone to mediums. Kevin doesn't think the softs can go to the end, he's gone to mediums instead. That's a clever strategy, potential choice. Roy DeBoy into the pits. Ice Cream's going to carry on. He could mess up some guy's strategy here. I don't think he'll come out in first. He'll maybe come out in second or third though. He does. He comes out in third place behind Kevin, in front of Toro. He does have one lap older softs, which will fall off towards the end of the race. But this is going to be interesting, because Ice Cream is a guy who is not fighting for anything. Not in terms of... I think he might be fighting for like 7th in terms of the Drivers' Championship. But who cares about that?
Kevin can... If the safety car ends, Kevin can take easily E1 in turn 1 essentially. He can overtake Regic as fast as possible. That's very good for him actually.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I forgot to say this at the start of this car, we have some promotion and sponsors. Obviously, you need to go and follow VDRL on all of the social media platforms we have, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, what other ones do we have? A Discord, obviously we've got the Discord server, YouTube, all that sort of jazz. It's our VD Racing League, so go and follow all of those. If you don't, then you aren't a very nice person. As I said, like the stream, follow us on all those platforms, join the Discord server where you can see all of the rambling, all of the arguing, all of the chaotic extra game modes we play with. I know some of the guys before races like to play like mini games on Discord, whether it be Gothic Phone, Cards Against Humanity, F1 Edition, that kind of stuff. We also have our sponsors we'd like to give a shout out to. So we have Rogue Energy, so if you want to get some energy that's rogue, you can have some Rogue Energy. We have Miniature Motor World and F1 Factory, which have F1 memorabilia and some like keychains and all that sort of jazz, those kind of like model cars I think as well. But yeah, those will be good for them, as Pulse Luxury has left the session. Good riddance. But yeah, so cheeky bit of promotion there, as we are under safety car conditions due to Pulse Luxury driving like prime 2018 Roman Grosjean. But yeah, so so Mido, as the Larry McReynolds of this league, who do you think the mediums are best, or do you think the softs are best towards the end?
7 laps left, and it's still safety cars. A safety car. So I think softs, because you can overtake Dylan with the hards, and the other guys, the other drivers with mediums much easier if you have softs. They give so much grip that you can use on the track. You could overtake so fast, you go so fast with it. Only 7 laps left, why not? Just take a risk.
Yeah. Taking a risk could be the difference between getting a title and not getting a title here. Obviously, at this point, because Rajic would gain 7 points on the guys in front of him. Actually, no, he would gain 4 points, I think, on no, he gained 5 points on Kevin, and he gained quite a few more points. He would gain, I think, about 12, 9 points on Toro. That would be enough to make him champion before the final race in Portugal. So this could definitely change the results, because obviously if you go into Portugal with 28 point lead, I think he's guaranteed the title, because he has how many wins? He has 3 wins. Actually, no, he doesn't. He needs to get 29 points on the Gaggian, so he needs to outscore Toro by 6 points, and he needs to outscore Kevin by 4 points. And he's already... It's possible. At the moment, he's outscoring Kevin by exactly 4 points. From my quick maths, and Toro he's definitely outscoring by enough. So this could get very tense very quickly. We're not going to go into scoring this lap because we've still got GPP who needs to catch up to the field. But we should be going at the end of this one, which will mean when we get going, there'll be 6 laps remaining in the Bahrain Grand Prix here in VDRL. Martin, if you could just confirm my maths, by the way, that would be massively helpful. Because you know the point system better than I do, because I know there's pole position points, and I think I've got all of those right. Also, I've just had a check of the warnings situations, or track limits. Kevin has 1 warning, but I don't think any of the top guys have any. Toro has 2 warnings from earlier on, but I'll check if those are collisions, because those very well might be collision penalties or collision warnings. Nope, they are both track limits, so Toro is right on the edge of death, essentially, with... If he gets a 3-second time penalty now, that's his championship challenge over. But Kevin still has a chance here. I think Toro has a very outside shot of getting the win here, unless Kevin, Ice Cream, and Magic come together. But quickly before we get back going for the safety car restart, last words from you, Mado. What do you think is going to happen in this last portion of the race?
I hope Ice Cream is gonna overtake Rajic and Kevin in turn 1. And I hope he's gonna take the win like it's nothing.
I mean, one can hope. I mean, he does have I think he does have at least 1 win. I can't remember which tier it was in, but he definitely has one from somewhere. It may have been in a different. It would have been in a different tier. Though. I don't think he's got one in this tier. Definitely not this season, because I would have remembered it. He has a 2nd place. He has a 3rd place. But we should be getting the safety car in any time now. Because GPP has caught up to the back of the pack. When you see those lights go off, when you see the notification, we are ready to get going. But you can already see Rajic backing the pack up. He is going 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. That's about 60, 70 kph in Eurobabble. But now he's just making sure no one can get any heat in their tyres. This is what I like to do on my safety car restarts whenever I'm in a league race. Don't let anyone get any heat in their tyres and on cope. 70 miles an hour now, speeding up a little bit as the safety car's about to come into the pits. I have a feeling he's going to go early. I have a feeling he's going to go just before the final corner, or just after it, and keep everyone by surprise. And that's exactly what he's done, but it's not the best of restarts. Kevin is still in his slipstream, but Ice Cream is right on the back of Kevin. We said we wanted to see some action, and I think we're going to get it. Heading down towards turn 1, there's drivers fanning out behind as Ice Cream ducks to the inside, then to the outside of Kevin. Doesn't make a move just yet, but Roy De Boy and Damian fighting going in towards turn 1 for 5th position. The Ferrari man of the inside, the McLaren man now switches to the inside of that corner. He's going to get a track limits one, because Roy De Boy pushed him out there, but Roy De Boy barging and bumping him, trying to threaten him to give up the corner, but he's not going to do so. Damian now back into 5th place, but now Roy De Boy is going to try and keep it around the outside. Still more contact, but he's going to eventually lose the position here unless he goes for a dive bomb up the inside of turn 8, and he does do that up the inside of turn 8. Kamikaze dive bomb, lovely move, lovely execution there from the Ferrari man. P5 for him. He's now out of DRS on the 4 in front, but who cares? That was a great move from him. And now we move towards the front pack. We have Rajic, we have Kevin, we have Ice Cream, and we have Toro. Kevin, actually, considering he's on those medium tyres, is not losing much time to Rajic. Although he has less ERS, he's not losing much. He does need to keep within this DRS as Talha overtakes Froby for P9. Yeah, he's got drivers in front of him that have penalties, so he'll need to try and dispatch of those as he gets up to the guys who don't have time penalty. But I think Kevin might struggle to keep Ice Cream behind here, heading on to the 5th lap to go in this race. We have 5 laps to go right now because Rajic is now crossing the line. Ice Cream up into 2nd place. The 2nd Red Bull driver, as now Toto also goes by Kevin. Unless those tyres fall off now and quickly, Kevin has made the wrong choice on strategy because safety car didn't come in so quickly that Toto has just dive-bombed Ice Cream and sent him completely nearly off the circuit even. And now, what's it called, Kevin round the outside, Toto now right behind his teammate Rajic. But importantly, he's out of DRS range. He's using hot lap to try and get back in DRS range, but he's out of the DRS range at the moment. And I think Rajic is well aware to the threat from the car behind because he's keeping that gap at just about a second. He's now dipped underneath a second. 9/10, but a little mistake I think from Toto there might affect him. It doesn't. Coming up towards the DRS detection line, he's got it. He's got the DRS, that's him back in the fight for the lead. At the moment, Rajic is, I think he has the World Championship in the bag. Even right now, he needs to win this race to have a championship in the bag because regardless, although Toto got the pole position, he would only gain 3 points from that, and it's 7 points the gap between 1st and 2nd. He would lose 4 points, and he's currently 22, I think, off of the... actually, no, I'm wrong. That'll make him 26 points behind, and you can gain 28 points in a race weekend. So, right now, Toto is still in championship contention. He would need to fall to 3rd place for him to fall out of championship contention. Now, he would need to lose that 3rd place to Ice Cream. As now Toto sets fastest lap on that lap. He has DRS to Rajic. Kevin has he's got DRS, but he's fallen out of the margin to Ice Cream, which is a problem because he's now going to fall even further behind and have his teammate Roy DeBoy behind him. Will Roy DeBoy try and overtake? It looks like he will. He's not going to give his teammate any leeway. A disastrous strategy for Kevin then has basically ruined his chances at a championship. At the moment, if Ice Cream was to get by Toto, that would be the championship for him. Because I don't think we do fastest lap points in this league, from what I remember. Fastest lap is 1 point. We do fastest lap points in this race, so he'd need 30 points then. So because obviously he doesn't have as many wins as Toto. So who does have the fastest lap? It is Toto. So let me just do some more quick maths. So he needs 30 points, I think, because it's 28 for normal and then the extra point fastest lap, and he doesn't have enough wins. Toto has four wins to Rajic's 3, so yeah, he needs 30 points. So at the moment, Rajic gaining 25, Toto gaining 21, yeah, it's not enough. He'd need him to fall back to even 4th possibly. So Toto probably will take this to the final round of the season, but he could even close the gap more because he's on the inside, doesn't make the move just yet. Kevin now back past his teammate Roy DeBoy, but the two Red Bulls stacking up. They don't want to send idiotic moves on each other because if they both crash, then that puts Kevin in the hot seat for a good position. But Ice Cream, who has no such qualms about fighting with these guys, obviously he is in a Red Bull sister car, but I don't think in this league we have team affiliations. We used to, from memory, but we don't anymore. So from what I can remember, Ice Cream has no orders to stay behind these guys, has no orders to not fight them. I mean, definitely not, because he's up in 3rd place and he was sending moves right at the start. Kevin has most certainly thrown this out. I don't know why he went on to the mediums. That's Toto being hit from behind by Ice Cream, and he's not giving that position back up. Yes, he is. He is giving that position back up. He thought that he was going to go to the outside. But what that will do is that will make it easier for Rajic, because now the gap is 7/10 between the leader, 8/10 between the leader and Toto in 2nd place. So that little mistake from Ice Cream is going to cost him and Toto a chance at this win. I'm not even sure if Ice Cream potentially has damage. As we head on to the 2nd to last lap of this race, this time round, and Kevin has caught back up because of that little squabble. He's caught back up to these lot, and these tyres will now be better than the softs. The softs do fall off here after about 6 or 7 laps. They will now be the better tyres. Ice Cream in the slipstream of Toto, who's in the DRS of Rajic. Yellow flags inside the 3. I think it was one of the Mercedes has had an issue. I think that was Bertie. But we don't care about that. We care about the battle for the lead. And now the Red Bull of Toto is ranging up on the back of his teammate. Kevin is back in the DRS range. He will be hoping for those tyres from the guys in front of him to fall off. He is gaining time on them. Whether that's just because Ice Cream has fallen off in terms of pace, whether that's because everyone in front of him has fallen off in pace, he is slightly gaining every single corner. On traction, less so. But through the actual sustained cornering sections, he is gaining. That does kind of match with the characteristics of the medium tyres. Toto and Rajic need to either switch positions now or wait to be devoured by Kevin potentially on the final lap. He's bump drafting him. Toto is bump drafting Rajic. I've never seen that before in a league race and have it work as well. I tried it in the league race once and the guy in front of me span off straight into a wall because I hit. That's very brave stuff from Rajic and Toto. Could have easily been front wing damage there. But now Ice Cream right on the back. He's got 81% ERS. Ice Cream could play a factor in this. Rajic now coming around the final corner to start the last lap of this race here in Bahrain. A championship could be on the line here. Toto using ERS to try and overtake. Ice Cream using overtake to try and overtake as well. 3 wide as we head down towards turn 1. Ice Cream takes the lead. Ice Cream has taken the lead from the 2 Red Bulls who fight behind him. Toto and Rajic side by side, and it's Toto who takes the advantage. So the guy who was leading going on to the final lap is now in 3rd place. So Rajic is definitely not in a position to win this title at the moment. But Toto around the outside of Ice Cream. Can he make it work? Can the Red Bull overtake the sister car? He can! He's made the move stick, but there's contact between the two and he's feisty behind. Yellow flags in centre 1. Roy De Boy, I think, has spun. But now Ice Cream back on the inside. Oh, and Toto turns in on him. That was completely Toto's fault. Roy De Boy is out of the race. He's spun in the second in that S's part of the circuit. No safety car. But Toto just ruined his chances at a championship there by going for a move that was never, or turning in on a move that was most certainly on. What a stupid attempt from Toto to try and keep his championship hopes on the ropes, really. And now we're coming round through turn 12 up towards the corner 13. All Ice Cream needs to do is keep Rajic behind for one more straight, but he's got the ERS. He's going to pull to the inside. They're going to defend, and he's going to go to the outside. Who is going to take the win here in Bahrain at the final corner? Rajic has managed to get the move done on the straight. Is there one last attack? Is there one last move from Ice Cream? No. It's going to be Rajic who wins the race here in Bahrain, and he wins the championship as well, I think. I think he's got the title in the bag with those provisional results.
Wow.
Race.
What a last lap. Everything changed in the last lap. Wow.
Toto has DNF'd. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm almost certain that with his spin and him falling down the order, that is the championship in the bag for Rajic. Because Kevin will have got 15 points for 3rd place. That's a loss of 10. But he did get 2nd place, and that's a loss of 8. That's not enough to keep him within 28 points or 30 points of the leader. And Toto finished well down the pack. I'm not sure where Toto exactly, because he had that DNF glitch where a driver crosses the line and it says a DNF. But I'm almost certain that Rajic is champion. Martin can confirm for me in the commentators chat. But once we go through the results, we will go into the interviews and potentially into our champion for VDRL with 1 round remaining. I think confirmed it after there was so much talk of whether Toto and Kevin could fight back after races like Suzuka, where Rajic was nowhere. We've had a race here in Bahrain where he's asserted his dominance. He had a bad qualifying, but has managed to come back after a struggling start. He got back up to the front of the start. He knew what he needed to do. He executed it perfectly. Basically, the story of Rajic's season. The 2 guys fighting for the title were arguably quicker, but they didn't have the brains, they didn't have the composure to be able to do so. So yes, Rajic is the winner here in Bahrain and potentially the championship.
Still went to the finish line and then he left the server, and yeah, that's it. And I'm trying to call him and talk with him.
I think he's the voice channel. That's fine. I think we're able to next season. You've now won a championship. now for any kind of and we do have cars moving around the cities and stuff. Um, are you looking to move team? And if you are, could you do any rumors into where you're going? And if not, could you also tell us?
Can you repeat, please? I think the voice channel got lagged for a moment.
Okay, so I said, obviously, you've won this championship. You're going to be hot property. You're going to be basically the most valuable driver on the driver market for next season. Are you looking to move, whether it be with Toto or away from Toto even? And are you looking to move to a different team, or are you looking to stay at Red Bull? And if you are looking to move a team, could you tell us which?
Yeah, I'm not looking for staying the same team because I don't find it as exciting as before. So yeah, I will be with Toro if he wants, of course, if he joins again. If not, then whoever joins will be welcomed. But yeah, it would be great to have Toro, and I don't want to say the team. I want to stay until the last minute.
That is absolutely fine. Milo, do you have any questions to our champion?
If you need to change to another team, swap seats, do you have one person you want to swap with?
That's hard.
Yeah, I ask hard questions.
Wait, I'll see lineup and let's see. It's because I don't have anyone preferred. As I said before, anyone will be welcomed, and it can be anyone. I don't care if it's Ice Cream, if it's Damien, if it's Talis, if it's anyone. I don't have any preferences.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, right. I think we can now throw it forward to our second place finisher in this race. Obviously not in the championship, but in this race, Ice Cream. In contention to win that. Obviously, never eventually ended up happening. This is your third podium of the season. Your second place. First of all, how was that from your perspective?
To be fair, my pace was lacking all day, so I'm really happy with the result, but not how the race ended. It's really unfortunate the collision with Toro, and I didn't want it to end like that. But I don't think there was anything I can do. In the first part of the race, I was on the hard tires, and they were really horrible. And then I was just battling with other people, and the leaders just built a 10-second gap. So I knew immediately, like, my race was over. And then all of a sudden, a safety car comes up, one lap after I pit, and I was back in it again. So I'm really happy. I got lucky, I think, by the safety car.
Yeah. Obviously, you were in contention for a win. From my memory, you don't have a race win. You can correct me on that if you want to in your response. But you don't have a race win. Okay. But you're getting closer and closer. As I said, you've got 3 podiums now, 2 second places. Are you, obviously, we've got Portimao coming up next week. The championship is already decided. People might be more inclined to kind of back off or relax. Are you going to back off and relax, or are you going to go for a win at a place like Portugal before we go into next season?
I'll actually miss next race because I'll be on vacation. But I'll be back next season, hopefully.
Fair enough. Yeah. About the accident with Toto, you kind of briefly mentioned it. Obviously, from the commentary box, we instantly said it was Toto's fault because he turned in on you. But do you have anything to add on that, or do you not really see much else to say?
If I knew he would turn in, I wouldn't go for the move. But I didn't expect that because it's the last lap. I was close to him. I think he should expect me to go down the inside. But he reacted to me going down the inside and turned in. So he lost out on that. And I think he finished like P50 maybe. So there's not really more I can say. Yeah, he lost out on his own fault. Maybe he blames me. I don't know. I don't think I could have done anything different.
He finished P4 on track, but there was a weird glitch that put him down in 16th place. To
P4?
answer your,
oh yeah,
it was some weird glitch because I think what's it called, Kevin's teammate, who will get his teammate, who we'll get to in a second, had some sort of incident at bottlenecked people up, and he luckily managed to recover to P4. Tyler, that. I'm trying to think of another question to ask you. Mardo, can you think of one?
Yes, for sure. Again, a hard question. Which place in the Drivers' Championship are you going for in next season?
Oh,
Say P1.
like, do you mean the standings or do you mean what team?
Standings. But you can also say like team. Do you want to join another team or stay the same?
Not the same. I don't really like the V car. I
Which-
would preferably go to a Mercedes engine car, like Mercedes or Aston or Williams. Standing, I would say P1, but obviously I don't think I no longer have the pace to go for P1. Last season it was good. I won the championship, but this season it feels like they are quicker than me. I can't keep getting luck every race, and yeah. So I would say
Yes.
probably realistically top 5. I would be really happy.
Yes,
Do
thank
you have
you.
anything more to add, Mardo?
Not right now. Do you have one?
No, I don't. That's why I was asking. We can now move on to our third place driver in the race, and potentially in the standings as well. I don't think so, but we might be able to do some mathematics on that. Kevin, obviously this was a chance for you to try and gain on Rajic, but as usual throughout the season, he had a very good drive. Do you think you could have done anything more to stop Rajic? And do you think that are you unhappy with yourself, or are you content with the fact that although you've lost the championship, you did everything you could in this race to stop that from happening?
I think I could have done a better race. I made a mistake. I think in the after the pit stops, I went for a gap with 2 people on the inside, or no, outside. And I think it was backmarkers we were overtaking. I overtook, I don't know, the Williams and Tala, and there I lost, I think, 2 seconds to Rajic. But then a safety car came, so I had the chance to go again for P1. But I made a mistake with the strategy because I didn't have new softs, and yeah, I was basically a sitting duck with my mediums.
To be fair, you didn't make, considering that I thought you chose mediums because you were trying to get to the end, or you're trying to pull fast one. If that's the emotion you had, to be fair, you didn't do too bad considering the optimal tires. So, where was
Yeah, that's so I'm gonna interrupt your leg a bit.
Okay. So I was saying about how with I couldn't hear you always in the yeah, I can't hear you. This is a problem. We'll wait for him to get back in. Let's see now. Is it working now? Is it working now?
Yeah.
Right, so let me restart that entire question. So, obviously, you said about how you couldn't go onto softs because you had no spare softs left. You had no choice but to go onto those medium tires. You still held yourself up good, and you still did a remotely, or still finished P3. And you talked about the back markers, and you talked about all that sort of stuff. Do you think without those things that didn't help you, do you think you could have won this race and took it to the final round in Portugal?
Yes, I think I had the pace over Rajic. Maybe Toro, especially in the first stint on the softs, was faster, I think. But yeah, I think I had the pace to win it. But yeah, unlucky with the last safety car.
Another question. I'm going to throw it forward to Portugal. Obviously, you have nothing to really gain. That you maybe second place in the driver's standings, you're still fighting over, but who really cares about second if you haven't won? Are you going to treat Portugal as a kind of test session? Are you going to treat it as I'm going to go balls to the wall and try and prove to everyone why I should have won this title? Or what are you going to do essentially in that final race, which essentially means nothing for your championship?
My aim is definitely to win that race. I want to finish the season on a high and start the season next season is very strong.
Yeah. One last question from me. I've asked it to the other guys. Are you looking to switch team? Are you looking to switch teammate? Are you looking to keep your teammate and switch team? What are you looking at for Team News next season?
I'm definitely want to switch the team. I'm not gonna say it, but I will switch.
Okay, let me just think if I can think of any last question. I know I said it was my last question, but I don't think I can think of any. Mardo, do you have anything else to add to our third place finishers?
Yes, I have 3 questions prepared.
3? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 3. I can think really fast. How do you find your pace over the season? Are you happy with it, or do you think you could do better?
I think in the beginning I was lacking a bit of pace compared to Toro and Rajic, but I think in the end of the season I had more pace. The only thing I would still need to improve is my quali pace, because I made a lot of mistakes today in my quali lap, but yeah, it was still enough for P2. But I think I can do better in the quali. And yeah, I basically lost, I think, the championship in the first few races, because I lost like 20 points in the first race because I made a mistake and I spun like 3 times, and yeah, I finished last.
Yeah. What are your thoughts and feelings after that last lap where the Red Bull spin out and you're now on the podium out of nowhere? Are you happy or are you bit sad?
I'm sad for Toro, but I'm happy for myself. But yeah, I don't think I deserve to be on the podium. I think Toro deserves to be on the podium. But yeah, I'm happy with my podium, because I think I finished like 6 races on the podium right now, so I have a good streak.
Yes. And this last question, how many people have ever said you sound like Max Verstappen?
No,
No one?
no.
Wow. You really sound like him.
Drives like him too.
Yeah, indeed. So maybe you could be it.
Yeah, maybe if
Anonymous.
I drive more like him, maybe then I will be champion next season.
What are your predictions for next year?
Yeah, I need to, firstly I need to have a good teammate, because yeah, I was struggling a lot this season with the constructors, and yeah, I just want to finish on the podium every race. That's my aim.
Do you have someone specific you want as a teammate?
I would love to have Toro or Rajic, but I think they will team up next season, so I have to look for someone else.
Yes, thank you. That's for me all it.
I think that's it for me as well. Obviously, the championship is over. We have a winner. We have a winner in the constructors, but the season is most certainly not over. You can join us next week for the race around Portimao, same time, not the same place because it's Portugal, obviously. But we'll still have all the guys that you've come to know and love from VDRL here on Tier Friday Season 6, as I failed to get my words out. I'm Nedzo. We've had Myro Cat. We've had every one of our lovely drivers who have come in to do an interview. We will see you all later, and goodbye.